Was Groove Theory. Tell me, so in 2018, there was a movie called Black Panther. Panther was a financial success. It was a blockbuster. It was a movie that no one ever thought, the people in the industry never anticipated doing as well as it did. It inspired black people all across the world. Everybody went to go see this movie, and it made black people proud. There were black female warriors who were strong protectors of the imaginary kingdom of Wakanda. We had a hero in T'Challa and a protagonist in Killmonger, and we rooted for both of them. And it demonstrated the complexity and diversity and sometimes confusion of our people. We were so very proud of it. The man who brought that project to life was a man named Ryan Coogler. And it was the springboard to other projects that black people wanted to do for years, all of a sudden got greenlit because they saw the success. It made us see ourselves differently. It made the industry see us differently. And a lot of projects now have gotten greenlit because of that very project. That was in 2018. In 2022, the man, Ryan Coogler, walks into a bank in Atlanta. And it's interesting because everybody talked about Wakanda forever, but that's actually Atlanta. So the man who inspired black people, the man who lifted them up, who artistically displayed us in such a beautifully human way, walks into a bank, hands a teller a deposit slip for around $12K, writes to be discreet. The teller sees him and immediately becomes threatened. As a matter of fact, she thinks he's robbing the bank. They call the police. And that black man who had inspired such hope and pride all of a sudden was a suspect. It was a black woman that saw him hand that money over, hand that deposit slip. It was a black woman, a black manager who said, "Good job," as the police were cuffing him. How is it that in one instance you can inspire such hope and the next instance you can inspire such fear? And the reason that both those emotions were evoked was because of one thing: the color of his skin. They were proud because of the color of the skin and the characters that he depicted, and those black women were afraid because of the color of the skin. That was it. No weapon, no threat. How could a black man walk in and have this much money? And when somebody thinks like that, you know that they see us the way society has always intended them to see us. When people say black on black crime, you know that they believe that somehow we're morally bankrupt and we are deviant, that we are to be feared. So a man who artistically bought us in our best light was now seen through no fault of his own by somebody as a threat. And that to me is a tragedy. Atlanta is a burgeoning city. It's one full of very rich people. It's also a city that has a lot of crime like every other metropolitan city. Why is it that when you walk into a bank, no threat at all, in front of a black woman, you give her your deposit slip? What made her see you as a threat? Now, if the truth of the matter is, if he were a white guy in the same set of circumstances existed, I bet you those women don't treat him that way. And if they were black women who had done that to Ryan Coogler, if there were white women who done that to him, we would be calling them Karen. We would be angry. So what is it when you see black men as a threat through nothing they've done? If you're a white woman, it's Karen. So I guess if you're a black woman, it's Carisha. But you have bought the notion that we are to be feared for no reason at all. Atlanta is a city full of entertainers. A lot of projects are shot there. There are a lot of young black men who do very well. So that shouldn't have been an anomaly. There are projects shot there all the time. What inspired such fear in you that you felt that you would call the police department with the potential of using lethal force? What did you see? Because the same black skin that directed the images that you were inspired by is the same black skin you use to see a threat as a threat. What was that? When I hear people say black on black crime, they do not seem to, they have bought into the notion that we are somehow morally bankrupt. Crime is about proximity. I've said that over and over again. If something happens to you, they're going to talk to the people around you. If there's a black crime, there has to be a white crime or a Latin crime or an Asian crime. But it's only for us. And when we buy that notion, we have let them write our narrative. The same way those two women let that man, let that society write their narrative. And it could have cost that man his life. We are no better or worse than anybody else. I don't believe every black man is a king and every black woman is a king, but I know for certain all of us are human. I know for certain all of us deserve the same respect as anybody else. if we are great for us in terms of, look at what he's done in terms of inspiring our vision of ourselves, and look at how transformative that was just in the industry that he existed. Look at the great things from an entertainment perspective and a self-respect perspective that came from that. Look at that. I'm not saying that you can't mistake. I'm not saying that you can't be afraid. But what did you see in him besides the color of his skin that made you so judgmental? What could it have been? If we can teach we know that if children have black children have black teachers, their chances of going on to secondary education increase exponentially. If our women bear children and they have black healthcare professors, their chances of success go up exponentially. We know if we deal with black blanks and black businesses, our chances of success go up. So if we can be bad for us, if we can be good for us, how can we be bad for us? If we can inspire such inspiration, such love, such pride, how can we then inspire such fear? When you're inspired or afraid of something because you see it, you're letting somebody else write your narrative. And you see him, those women saw him the way society always intended it to. You can, sometime, at 1 minute it was Wakanda forever, and the next minute it was nigga for now. That's a little note for the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the DL Hughley Show.